Hello, welcome to the MMA Freak Fire of the Week. I'm Matt Salzer. So this week, the Fire of the Week is going to go to the only submission on the card to Daniel Rodriguez against Tim Means, and I'm going to go through most, if not all, the fight cards. So, in the main event, UFC Fight Night 167, you had Jan Blachowicz getting his win back when he knocked out Corey Anderson. It was a pretty good fight, and it was a pretty quick fight, and also just went to show how far Jan Blachowicz has gone from when he first lost to Corey Anderson in their first meeting. I would make the argument that if there is a rematch between John Jones and Dominic Reyes, that the winner should face him. If not, then the person should get the next crack at John Jones. We'll just have to see, because these guys have faced John Jones. So, excuse me. There's that. And then in the co-main event, you had Diego Sanchez going against Michael Pereira. And this fight disappointingly ended in a disqualification. It was the first of, actually it was the second of two DQ fights because of knees to a grounded opponent. And it's like, these weren't even like close. It wasn't like the situation where the new unified rules where you can, in a 3-point stance, you could deliver a knee. No, these were blatant on the ground, grounded opponent knees to the head. And while I am in that camp that I believe that knees to a grounded opponent aren't as harmful as the unified rules would indicate, the reality is they're illegal. You're not supposed to do them. And these fighters did that. So, yeah, it was a pretty good fight leading up to it, though, because Diego Sanchez always brings it. I don't think he should be fighting a welterweight, though. He's more of a lightweight. He's really more of a lightweight. That's what he should be fighting down at. I know he fought as low as featherweight, but the reality is he's a lightweight. It's like he's fighting these natural welterweights, and you could tell they're huge compared to him. This is not the welterweight division that he first fought in. Things have changed. Things are different. So he really needs to go back down because he doesn't belong in the weight class anymore if he wants to be competitive. Then you had in the highest women's fight, and Montana De La Rosa fighting Mara Romero Borrero, in which Montana was able to ink out a decision. It's nice to see her. I can't remember if she's coming off of a loss, but it's nice to see her continuing to build up. Whether she's eventually going to be able to pose an actual threat to Valentina Shevchenko, not likely, because Valentina is just this on another level athlete, whereas Montana, even though she's a good athlete, she has to work for it a tad bit more. So, but either way, she got a good win. At least De La Rosas went 1-for-1 because her husband Mark did not do well earlier in the night. He got straight knocked out. So that was that. Then you had Brock Weaver, who was the other disqualification. And again, it was a good fight leading up to that. But yeah, Brock Weaver fought Kazula Vargas, and Vargas delivered an illegal knee. And I'm still surprised that these fighters are delivering these illegal knees. I don't know if it's a spur of the moment, whether they just didn't understand the rules or what, but they're not supposed to do this. You're not supposed to do this. So I'm not sure where this is going. But yeah, so there's that. Then Ray Borg, who missed weight, coming back down to flyweight. He is a natural flyweight. He just had, clearly had something wrong with his weight cut, but he needs to get back to that. So he did that. He was able to get a decision against Rogerio Bontonin. And again, it was nice to see him get back to flyweight. Then Lando Vannata, this was to start the main card after the prelims. Worked out a decision against Yancy Medeiros. There were a lot of decisions on this fight card, and I'm going to be honest, a lot of the fights were a tad bit on the boring side. But, you know, he was able to get a win. A win's a win. Then, as I said, by the fight of the week, Daniel Rodriguez got a standing submission against Tim Means. And again, it was a good fight leading up to that. I'm glad, and it was good to see Rodriguez get that. Then John Dodson, on, I believe, a 2-fight losing streak, was able to, in New Mexico, because he's from New Mexico, was able to get the TKO victory over Nathaniel Wood. Glad to see him get his win back. Get back on a winning streak. Then some quick fire ones. Scott Holtzman, decision Jim Miller. Yeah, Jim Miller. Kind of sad to see Jim not be able to get that win. Then Deck Clark, decision. Deacon Townsend. Merab Davishvili. I'm glad to see. I've always been a fan of him ever since I've seen him. I haven't watched the Tuesday Night, not the Tuesday Night Contender Series. I haven't watched the UFC, Dana White Looking for a Fight for a while, but I'm glad to see Merab get there because from the moment I first saw him fighting, I really liked him, and then to see him get to where he is now. Not to mention that his recent loss, his last loss, where they called it a technical submission, and the end of the fight, just like it's the end of the fight. B, he was conscious. There was no reason to call that a a technical submission. So, but yeah, he definitely brought it. Was able to control Casey Kenny, and glad to see Merab do that. Then you had Macy Chiasson, the Ultimate Fighter winner. Pull off a decision against Shayna Young. Glad to see that happen. And then you had Raulin Paiva knock out Mark De La Rosa, as I mentioned earlier. So there's going to be an upcoming UFC fight night this coming weekend with Paul Felder headlining. So we'll see how that goes. So that was it. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, comment down below what you thought about the fight night. At Matthew Salzer is both my Twitter and my Instagram. At MMA Freakout is the MMA Freak Twitter. Be sure to check out MMA-freak.com for exclusive content. Thank you very much. I'll see you next time.